Hi folks, thank you for joining me. It's Nick here, we're on the ZX Spectrum 48K and we're going to be looking at a shooter called Dark Star, published by Design Software in 1984. It's a game that also came out on the Amstrad CPC but not too much else. We're going to do it on joystick, although you still have to do accelerate and decelerate by the keyboard. I do have a cheat here for infinite energy, which we'll use in my first go. Doesn't go very well, which probably is the case. Now, if you had this game back in the day, I think it's that there's quite a bit of depth to it, but I'm just having a quick first go to see what I think. It's space exploration, and essentially we must, we fly a ship called the Liar. We must liberate the galaxy from the domination of an evil lord, and we do this by blowing lots of stuff up. You see the power gauge down the middle there in cyan, or that light blue, so avoid getting shot, and whenever you see a square you must fly through that. Now there are portals to different planets we need to get through as well, so it's space and portals. There is a sort of map we can bring up each time. So we must fly around this galaxy and rescue and liberate everyone, but what it boils down to is really a no-nonsense shooter. Nice starfield coming at me. Right, okay, what's that thing? So if we fly through these squares, I think we get extra energy or stuff, but we missed that one. Interesting sounds on this one. If you like space travel, I think that's got us, yeah, so that's got us to the planet. Might need to bring up a map now. So instead of stars, these are, I suppose, are lights on the planet's surface. Did you have this one back in the day? Let me know, did you complete it? Because I'm sure not going to complete it now, and it's not really one of those games you can dip in for the first or second go and know everything that's going on. But in the attempt to review everything, just want to get a bit of a look to how it plays, what are the graphics like, what are the sound like. So, or sounds like I should say, to use proper English. See there, my score is 0, which is brilliant. Right, so there's the map. We need to get to that central town, and I believe maybe knock out the thing in the middle or all the central towers. So quite a lot of bit to do here. You wouldn't be completing it on just your first go. I'm not really into these games too much. I mean, the first one that really... Oh, there we go. So we're in the main place. The main one that first caught my eye was Frontier Elite 2 on the Commodore Amiga, which we still haven't reviewed. Pretty big game to jump into. So is a candidate for a blundering series, maybe, if we can fit it in. And that's just a maybe, not a definite. Just talking to myself, really. Okay, so I don't really know what I'm doing that much, which is probably quite apparent. But we need to get back to the main city bit. As soon as we've blown out everything, we probably can leave it and go back into outer space and try and liberate the next world. Liberation, liberate me. That's a line they said in that horror film. What was that? What was that horror film with Fishburne in? The Event Horizon. That was it. Liberate me. Yeah, good stuff. I'm going to watch that film again. It's a horror. It's a horror flick, but I'm getting detached now. It's not as fun. It's not as bouncy as this one. So lots of towers. Let's just shoot them all, I presume. Energy not looking brilliant, and we bumps into a tower and we're dead. Yeah, you liberated, no planets. Well done. Well, at least we got to one. You scored 0 points. So I've set myself quite a high target to beat. We'll use a poke now, I think, so just to try and get you a bit more gameplay than that. So space, things shooting at you. You can accelerate and decelerate to avoid those. You don't need to fly into them. You don't need to destroy them. It's not paramount to the game. Although you will get points if you destroy one, and I beat the highest score. Right, back to the planet. High score 10. The last high score has been completely and utterly smashed because I'm better than the average player, and I know I am the average player. Believe it or not, I am. Right, here we go. Some games are a lot better than others, especially games where it's the first time we've played them. We tend to be quite awful, but that's all a bit of the fun about it. This isn't what the channel's about. It's not about perfect gameplay. It's not about doing the controls perfectly. It's all about having fun, reliving memories, and seeing, is this game something I would have gone back to as a kid, or would I abandon it after a few goes? I think it's one of these ones I would have jumped in every now and again without being one of my top go-to games if I indeed had it. Right. So navigation is a bit laborious, but I do like the way the clock's ticking up on the middle. Notice it can go into hours. I don't know what the... See, that would be a challenge in itself as a kid as well. Have you got that time thing ticking over to 999999 ticks over again? Yes. I think the computer will blow up before that happened. Right, away we go. Let's see if we can fly through any squares that turn up this time. As soon as we hit a tower, they seem to retract into the ground, so I suppose that's a good thing. Energy not going down now, is it? We have got a poke on for infinite energy. Yeah, we flew through that and nothing happened. So energy is looking super good. Bit of hype on it. Right, there's a square. Let's fly through that. This is supposed to tell us where to go, I think. Through one. Could go a bit quicker than this, but I don't want to tempt fate. Right. Are we getting any points for going through these? Yes, 10 points for each square. Great. So if you want a game where you go through squares in space and on different planets, this is the one for you. I presume there's some sort of central processing plant we need to destroy on this planet, is there? People that played this a lot, let me know. There is a sequel to this called Forbidden Planet, and I think on side 2 of the cassette there's another game as well. Unless this is side 2 and I've just loaded up the wrong side. Right, okay. But this is Darkstar in some shape or form. Through we go. These sounds are starting to grate my ears a little bit, but at the same time I do like them. It is screaming out to me the 1980s, because this was 1984, so quite early on. I suppose you could say this is vector graphics in a way. Do have a look at on the Spectrum Star Wars by Domark and Empire Strikes Back I reviewed. That's using vectors as well. It's one up from this really, but with a Star Wars skin. Keep expecting an AT-AT or a Walker to turn up. It just reminds you of that game a lot, especially this bit. Or a probe droid might come across. It's using the same sort of programming techniques and programming power. What's your favourite vector game on the Spectrum? I know I haven't covered Elite yet. Not sure how good that is. But I'm sure we'll get to it at some point. But they all seem to blend into similar things for me. 3D Star Strike's probably my favourite space shooter on the ZX Spectrum. The sequel's not bad either, but not as good as the original one. 3D Star Strike was an unofficial conversion of that Star Wars game, but you know, I think it played better than the actual official Star Wars ones that come out a little bit later. 250 points, great. That's a huge score. You certainly couldn't get it with one throw of darts, so that means it must be brilliant, mustn't it? That's good logic, Nick. That is very good logic. Hyperspace. Hyperspace, cross this place. I'm too cool for the room. I'm getting a bit like a Will.i.am. So, if you was waiting at a space station, would you get aboard my ship for a free lift, or would you think, hang on a minute, that looks a bit like Nick, I recognise the hat. I'm not getting on this ship. I'll wait for the next one, thank you very much. And then you think you're all good, and then you get on some ship run by the Cylons or cannibals, and you get eaten. So more fool you. So in that hypothetical thing, you should have got on my ship. You made a big mistake there. Big nose. Right, away we go. Hope you learnt stuff there. I need to get back to this town. I'm going around in circles like a hoodlum who hasn't passed their pilot's test. But I've got the licence anyway because I bribed the instructor. Right, back here we go. Right, super speed. Might have to turn the poke off in a minute because I'm lasting a bit too long for someone that doesn't know completely what they're doing. The instructions did say fly through squares, didn't it? It said, it was very brief. It said blow up everything you can see and fly through squares if you see them. Well, that's essentially what we're doing. You've got unlimited plasma firepower, no missiles at all. It's just that singular weapon. Can't upgrade your ship. I wouldn't really expect it from a game of that era, so I can't mark it down for that. Overall, I think it's okay. I think if you're into space games, you would have liked this one. It moves quite fast, it's quite smooth. I do like the star field, or lights as they will be on this planet surface. It's a nice idea. Once you get used to it into a rhythm, you could pretend you're on a mission, get involved with it, get submersed. So yeah, okay again. Like we reviewed the Doomax earlier on. That was a game where I thought, yeah, that was good, but not something I'd go to every time. I think this is something similar for me. An okay game, but not something I would go to every time. Right. Flying around. Yes. this was Grand Theft Auto, someone will smash into me by now, an aircraft or some other crazy fool. But this isn't. This is 1984, and that was a little bit before Grand Theft Auto came out. You can see games sometimes on the Spectrum, or whenever, you think, yeah, this could be Grand Theft Auto, it's spiced up a bit. Yeah, Turbo Esprit was one, not to get confused with Lotus Turbo Esprit. Turbo Esprit was one, there's a couple of other ones as well. So we're just going really on a random map of the city. I'm not sure if it's remembering how many of these columns we've actually destroyed, but we've seen all the gameplay now there is pretty much to see. I don't think I can go on too much longer, unless something special happens through one of these squares in a minute. They change colour, or we go somewhere clever, or dock with a space station or something. But wherever you go, it's not going to be too different from this. So we've pretty much seen all the game has to offer, unless there are some amazing spaceships somewhere. If there are, and you have found them, then let me know. I mean, spaceships different from those blue ones we saw before. There might be some somewhere where they're exactly the same but different colour. That's probably a given. But some different ones in design, I meant. Might have to up the pace in a minute. Up the pace. Up the tempo. Yeah. We could be going like this forever, so it's going to take a long time to complete this. A long time. No in-game save feature, I'm afraid, so you have to do it all in one go or nothing. And most of the time it'll be nothing. So that's why I don't think many people would have completed this a great deal. Unless you just fly to the middle, which is quite easy to do, and blast it, and that's done. And there's 5 worlds and you just fly to the middle and blast it with good tactics. But I haven't got those tactics. I'm playing like a newbie, like a Wally. Yes. 450 points though. I'm not getting any points for shooting these towers, am I? Perhaps you don't shoot them. I play these games to relax myself. Hope you're feeling relaxed. But I think we will leave it there, folks. So I hope you liked having a look at that one. That was Dark Star on the ZX Spectrum 48K, published by Design Software in 1984. Got any comments about this game, similar games, or anything retro? Then please put that below. You're always more than welcome. Huge thanks to everyone that's subscribed so far, helping the channel grow and keep going. If you want to help a bit more, there's patreon.com/njenkin. Every bit really does help. And until next time, take great care of yourself and are very fond. Goodbye.
Goodbye.